What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. So I was thinking about a lot of things, which I know is crazy, right, considering my brain and who I am, but I think that it's time for everyone to think about how our past is kind of holding us back from the present, living in the present. There's a lot of things that we can't control. We can be given advice on what to do, but only we're in charge of that outcome. And wanted to do a video because I was thinking earlier, when I started this channel, I don't think that I really even explained everything fully, but at the same time, I started this channel because I had this call. Like, I started getting interested in tarot and I started watching videos. I started with Eat, Read, Love, and then it just went from there. And there's a bunch of people on here that I like to listen to, some that I don't. I think that everyone is on their own journey, and for us this year, we've been backed into a wall, and like, we've had to face things that we don't want to face, The hardest lesson, I think, for some of us to learn is that there's going to be things that we can't control. There's going to be choices and options and things that are going to need to fall away, and sometimes we're going to be getting some attention. Some of us need to make some decisions when it comes to what we're scared of, the reasons why we have addictions, what's really influencing the present, and what's holding us back, So I started doing these readings. But I was sitting here tonight and I got a text message from my sister just saying that my mother is back in the hospital. She's like an hour away. Apparently she's had a stroke a few days ago. Mind you, this is a woman who gave me and my sister up when I was a baby. When I was 5 or 6, she signed her rights away. We were put in foster care in like 7 different ones. Before I was 6, because when I was 6, we were permanently placed in one. And I just think back to, I internalize a lot of things. It used to bother me when I was little, when I would see little kids with their parents, and I never really understood who I was or where I came from, and that I really wasn't nurtured or loved the right way. And that kind of fucked me up. You know what I mean? I had to learn things the hard way, but at the end of the day, I can't control. I had like this conversation with one of my best friends the other night, and I just broke down. I'm just like, I know things are going to get better. I know everything fell apart. And she's like, maybe there's some things in your life that wasn't meant for you to control. I'm like, what? I'm a Scorpio. I try to control everything. And up until this year, I'm like, I pretty much handled my shit on every given Sunday. You know what I mean? But there's so many past influences that we have in our lives where we have to go and deal with them. So I didn't even want to do a video. I was watching a video. I think it was Pink Pineapple, and she's like super pretty with all her makeup done. I'm like, fuck, man. I used to make sure that I was all prettied up for my videos before I came on here. And I'm just like, man, do you know real life is like? Do you want to know when one of your twins is up screaming for hours and you don't get any sleep, and you're bouncing around houses because there's just too much shit going on with your house is falling apart, and you sort of feel like burning it down, and you don't really know what direction you're going in, you just keep getting hit left and right. And I start crying, so my face is all red, that fucking endometriosis hormones, my face is breaking out, you can see my scars. I don't even care. welcome to the thug life, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, this is real life. But I wanted to do this video because I was talking to my sister and I finally told her about my tarot channel. And that's a big deal for me because I don't really tell people. You know, besides the whole YouTube world, there's only a few people in my life that I've told about my channel because I wasn't really sure, like, you know, that confidence thing was like, well, I don't know, you know, how people are going to think about it because it's the devil. And I even have a black cat, so it probably makes me like a witch or something. I don't know. But I know that in the last year, I've done a lot of healing and forgiving, and the last two people on my list are my parents. So I have to go and see my mom tomorrow, which I don't even know how I'm going to get there, or I don't know. I'm just like, I know that I need to go and I need to have this conversation because the biggest thing that I had to learn was to open up my mouth and say the things I don't want to say, which usually isn't a big deal for me because when it comes to anything else in my life, I'll talk hella shit all day long, every day. I don't care who I talk shit to, shit. But when it comes to my parents, I haven't really had that conversation, and I know that through my mother's had a lot of medical issues. I know that there's going to be a time coming soon where she's going to be gone, and I don't want to carry any more grief and, you know, anything from the past. So I know that I need to go up to the hospital tomorrow and have this conversation with her. I don't even know what condition she's in at this point, but I know that I need to go because I cannot control how this ends, and I cannot control how I was brought up. The only thing that I can control is myself and how I raise my own children and what I do from here on out. So I gotta rip these two big ass band-aids off and make sure that I'm living in the present moment and not be afraid, you know, to tell people that I'm an empath, I'm a psychic, clairvoyant, clairaudient, I'm a healer. And not only that, but I'm ascended Scorpio. I'm ascended to the Phoenix, and I don't even know if y'all know shit about Scorpios. Everybody thinks that we have a bad reputation. That's because y'all are dealing with the snake, the ones that are horrible, and they don't give a fuck. But you're not gonna meet one like me. There's not very many of us out there because we had to face all our demons. And this is the last thing I gotta do is go forget my parents. And that's something that I don't want to do. I don't want to talk about it. I usually just avoid it, make some sarcastic comment, like. But I know that I have to face this, and I know that I need to say something, but I don't handle my emotions very well. Not when it comes to my parents. I feel like it has more to do with fear. It has more to do with making that decision to tell someone who was responsible for you that they had a shitty ass job, that she didn't take care of me. She gave me up and left me out here when I probably needed her. Facing those demons is no joke, and I think that we need to be aware of the things that we can't control and the things that are holding us back. And sometimes it does really have to do with our childhood and the things that we've been through and the people we don't really know how to forgive. Because I feel like part of me is like trying to, but I know that I really don't. I don't forgive her. I don't forgive her. I can accept the things that she's done, the choices that she's made, her mental illness, and the things that she's went through probably weren't fair, but I don't forgive the fact that I was never taken care of, and that pretty much fucked me up and left me out here like on my own. I had my sister who pretty much raised me, so it's not like I was on my own, but I don't want to be defensive about where I've came from or what I've been through anymore. And I think the biggest thing that we need to learn is to step outside that comfort level and tell people how we really feel, even when we don't want to. Because, you know, I was raised in a family where you don't talk about things that happened. You know, we don't talk about if there was any kind of abuse or anything that they fucked up on. That's all. We have to pretend everything's okay. And we got to smile and be happy because that's our family. Fuck family. Anybody who's toxic to your life doesn't deserve a spot there. Because what are they really doing for me besides like making me deal with something where I already have 4 kids and a black ass cat? 5 kids, pretty much. And I got this is on my shoulders. So the best advice I can give to anybody is to think about people you need to forgive and how far back it goes, because when it comes down to healing, we run. When it comes down to the things we don't want to talk about, we run. But at the end of the day, it kind of holds us back and puts us in the wrong kind of relationships. It brings the wrong kind of people into our lives. And the sooner that we can figure out a way to release this, take our own advice, realize that this wasn't something that we could control. We didn't have a choice about this, but we can ascend from this and not let the past be the influence of our present for our children, and not let it hold us back anymore. Because it's been a long time, you know. I feel like it's affected a lot of the choices that I've made in life, and you know, second guessing myself because I wasn't sure if I was right or if I was doing things the right way or whatever. I've just kind of been winging it. You know what I'm saying? 33 years later, I'm living fucking the thug life, you know? But commitment issues come from shit like this, you know, not being able to make those decisions, not being, having the right relationships with people, because it goes back to childhood. I was 6. Every kind of bond I've formed, everything that I brought into my life, fuck. The one thing I can say is that if I did live with my parents, it would have been probably a worse situation than what I was in. Somewhere along the lines, I was introduced to religion and spirituality, and I remember when I was little, the worship music was always spoke to me, you know. So that's where I was like, probably always been clairaudient. They've always spoken to me through music. And now that I get older, it's helped me, you know. Now my spirituality is on a different level, and I've been able to go down a path where the things I've been through and the things that I'm healing myself from, I'm helping other people heal from, and that's what we're here for. The life of a healer is shitty, man. You know, and it's like I was listening to another video. I can't remember her name. When I remember, I'll do another video. But she was like doing a Scorpio video, and it was like, you know, the love that you've given to people, when people looked at you crazy, like, what, you can't change this person by loving them when your prayers don't do anything. And it's like, but I really did. There were some people that were in my life that I loved them in ways, showed them, you know, the divine love, and they changed from a very dark place, and maybe they're not ready to see it yet, but the people I put everything into and everybody looked at me like I'm crazy, it was for a reason. And I'm not with them, you know, and it's hard for me to accept the fact that I put a lot of time into people when maybe I just made them better for the next person. But at the same time, realizing that not everyone's meant to be in your life forever, that some people are only meant to learn a lesson and move on. It's hard for me to let go of people because I feel like I've always kind of been that black sheep, or that one where everybody left me, you know, so it's hard for me to give up on people. But at the same time, I know that I've healed people. I know that I have been able to understand the pain and the feelings and the emotions and the suffering and the abuse that people have went through on a way different level than other people could. I know that my psychic abilities and the things that I can see around me is helping me be more aware of the things that I'm involved in, but at the same time, it's helping other people too, you know, and my gifts are expanding and I'm becoming more confident in who I am. And I think that it's kind of a big deal. We have a choice to make about what we invest in. And I think that some of us really need to speak our truth about how we feel, even if your voice shakes. So I just wanted to get on here looking like this to do this video because I was trying to go to sleep and I couldn't. They're just like, get up, go do a video. So here I am, rocking it. I think that the main lesson is that we don't understand a lot of things. Maybe there's some things we're never going to understand. But I think that the main thing that I've learned is that everything's happened for a reason. Everyone's been in your life for a reason. You have to decide what's influencing you and what's holding you back and what you can't control, and what advice and what you're going to do about it yourself to live in the present, to reach the outcome that you want. That's your choice. It's not anybody else's choice. It's yours, whatever that looks like. You know, it's going to look crazy to people that aren't spiritually awakened, people that don't understand that there's something other than them out here, and that maybe the tarot card readers aren't from the devil himself, like we were taught. But anyways, that's all I had to say. Hope everyone has a good night.